Welcome to Whispering Tales TV, where we unravel captivating stories that will leave you spellbound. Join our community by sharing your own tales at whisperingtalestv@gmail.com. And let's embark on a journey of imagination together. Story 1. The Rainy Night. It was a stormy night, the kind that makes you want to stay indoors and never venture out. But for three adventurous souls named Mike, Sarah, and Jake, a little rain was no match for their craving for excitement. They had spent the day exploring the vast expanse of the mall, jumping from one shop to another, laughing and sharing stories. As the evening sky darkened, they decided it was time to head home. Little did they know, fate had other plans. As they made their way towards the exit, a loud clap of thunder echoed through the empty halls. The lights flickered and went out, leaving them in darkness. Panic set in and they fumbled for their phones, their feeble screens casting eerie glows on their faces. "We should find a security guard or someone who can help us out of here," suggested Mike, his voice barely above a whisper. But as they wandered through the dimly lit corridors, they realized that they were completely alone. The echoing silence was only broken by the distant sound of rain pelting against the roof. Sarah's eyes scanned their surroundings, landing on an old service door that seemed to lead to a maintenance area. "Maybe there's a way out through there," she proposed. With a collective sigh of relief, they pushed open the door, revealing a narrow passage filled with forgotten boxes and maintenance equipment. They pressed on, their footsteps muffled by the thick layer of dust on the floor. The passage seemed to wind on forever, the walls closing in around them. Just when they were about to turn back, they stumbled upon a small, dimly lit room. At its center stood an old security desk, covered in a layer of grime. Mike approached the desk and noticed a logbook, its pages yellowed with age. He flipped it open, revealing a list of entries dating back years. His heart raced as he read entries describing various incidents in the mall, some mundane, others chilling. Suddenly, a loud clang echoed through the passage behind them. They turned, hearts pounding, but there was nothing there, just shadows dancing in the feeble light. "Maybe it was just the wind," Jake muttered, though his voice lacked conviction. They decided to press on, driven by a sense of urgency. The passage led them deeper into the bowels of the mall, until they reached a dead end. Desperation set in as they realized they were trapped. Just as hope began to wane, Sarah's flashlight caught a glint of metal in the corner. It was a set of keys, abandoned and forgotten. With trembling hands, she picked them up and handed them to Mike. With a mixture of trepidation and hope, Mike tried the keys on the door, each one producing a metallic click. And then finally, the door creaked open, revealing an exit that led them out of the cold, dark labyrinth. They stepped out into the rainy night, their clothes drenched and spirits shaken. The mall loomed behind them, a silent sentinel in the night. They exchanged glances, knowing that this night would forever be etched in their memories. Little did they know, it was only the beginning of a series of horrifying events that would unfold within those walls, events that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. Story 2. The Night Shift. In the heart of the city, nestled beneath a canopy of rain-laden clouds, stood the old mall. It was a relic of a bygone era, with its faded facade and silent halls. And on this particular night, it was the temporary sanctuary for three weary souls: Alex, Lily, and Mark. They were the night shift workers, tasked with the unenviable duty of ensuring the mall's upkeep during the witching hours. As the rain pelted against the glass windows, they settled into their routine, each lost in their own thoughts. The mall, in its dormant state, took on an otherworldly aura. Shadows danced and whispered, and the distant echoes of raindrops seemed to harmonize with the hum of the aging fluorescent lights. As the night wore on, a sense of unease settled upon the trio. The usual routine seemed somehow altered, as if the mall itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. Lily, ever the pragmatist, tried to shake off the eerie feeling. "It's just the rain playing tricks on us," she assured herself, her voice echoing in the emptiness. But as they made their rounds, checking every nook and cranny, they couldn't ignore the subtle signs that something was amiss. Store mannequins seemed to shift in the corners of their vision, and distant whispers echoed through the halls, just beyond the reach of comprehension. Mark, always the skeptic, scoffed at their apprehensions. "You two are letting your imaginations run wild," he chided, though his eyes betrayed a hint of uncertainty. Yet, even he couldn't deny the strange occurrences that unfolded before them. Lights flickered and went out, only to reignite moments later. Shadows seemed to grow darker and more menacing, as if they were alive. As the hours dragged on, a sense of foreboding settled over them. They huddled together in the security office, seeking solace in each other's presence. The logbook, much like in the first story, held its own secrets, detailing incidents that seemed to defy explanation. Then, in the dead of night, a blood-curdling scream tore through the silence. It pierced through their defenses, shattering their composure. They rushed towards the source, their hearts pounding in their chests. What they found would forever be etched into their memories. A figure, cloaked in darkness, stood at the far end of the hall. Its presence was suffocating, radiating malevolence that seemed to seep into their very bones. Without a word, they turned and fled, their footsteps echoing in the empty space. They didn't stop until they reached the exit, their breath ragged and eyes wide with terror. They emerged into the rainy night, their bodies soaked and minds reeling. The mall loomed behind them, a silent witness to the horrors they had witnessed. They knew they could never return, that the darkness within those walls held secrets too terrible to comprehend. And so they left, their hearts heavy with the weight of what they had seen. The rain continued to fall, washing away the traces of their presence, as if to cleanse the mall of its malevolent past. But they knew that some stains could never be erased. Story 3. The Haunting Echoes. As the rain relentlessly battered the city, the mall stood like a sentinel, its windows streaked with rivulets of water. Within its walls, a solitary figure named Emily wandered, lost in a world of her own making. Unlike the others, Emily was not there by choice. She had sought refuge from the storm, hoping to find solace within the deserted halls. Little did she know, the mall held secrets that would test the limits of her sanity. The echoes of her footsteps reverberated through the empty space, creating a haunting melody that seemed to harmonize with the rain. She felt as if the very walls were whispering to her, their secrets just beyond the realm of comprehension. As Emily explored the mall, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shadows danced at the periphery of her vision, and distant murmurs teased at the edges of her consciousness. She pressed on, determined to uncover the mysteries that lay within. The stores, long abandoned, seemed frozen in time, their shelves lined with forgotten relics of days gone by. Each step she took stirred up clouds of dust, giving the air a spectral quality. The further she delved, the stronger the sense of unease became. It was as if the very essence of the mall had absorbed the sorrows and fears of those who had passed through its halls, leaving an indelible mark on the space. In a moment of curiosity, Emily stumbled upon a decrepit escalator that seemed frozen in time. Its steps creaked and groaned under her weight as she ascended, the distant echo of her footsteps magnified by the empty expanse. As she reached the upper level, she was met with a chilling sight. A figure, draped in tattered garments, stood before her. Its face was obscured, hidden in shadow, but its presence was palpable, exuding an aura of ancient sorrow. Emily's heart raced, her breaths shallow and rapid. She tried to speak, but her voice caught in her throat. The figure beckoned her forward, its gesture filled with a strange mix of urgency and melancholy. Driven by a mixture of terror and morbid fascination, Emily took a tentative step towards the enigmatic presence, and then, with a sudden burst of movement, the figure vanished, leaving behind nothing but an empty void. The realization struck Emily like a bolt of lightning. She was not alone in the mall. It was inhabited by something beyond her comprehension, something that defied the boundaries of the living world. In a panic, she retraced her steps, desperate to escape the suffocating grip of the mall's malevolent presence. She burst through the entrance, her breath ragged and body trembling. As she emerged into the rainy night, she could feel the weight of the mall's secrets pressing upon her, a burden that would forever linger in the recesses of her mind. The rain washed away the traces of her presence, leaving the mall once again shrouded in silence. Emily knew that she had witnessed something beyond explanation, something that would haunt her for the rest of her days. And as she walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that the echoes of that night would forever resonate within those haunted halls. Thank you for watching Whispering Tales TV. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join our community of fellow thrill seekers. Get ready for spine-tingling stories that will keep you up at night. Let the Whispering Tales begin.